right before I got on the plane, my mother was put on a heart monitor. Both my parents have severe heart conditions. And so that was kind of on my mind the whole time to be like, I have to at least, because like you know how reality TV shows work, whereas like it can change their lives.
Yeah,
So my
absolutely.
thought process is while I was thinking about my mom and my dad was maybe if I'm seen long enough, maybe even if I don't win, it could change my life.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to a brand new edition of Just in Time for Storytime. I'm your host, Justin Stephen Ford, author of the diverse picture book, I See Me. Get your copy now. And we're back. As you've seen, I had the amazing opportunity of taking place in the #1 Netflix show right now, Squid Game's The Challenge. I met so many amazing and inspiring people. Here on this channel, we're all about diversity, inclusion, and just like I said, inspiring people doing inspiring things and representing for the culture. So without further ado, we have another amazing guest. You are just in time for story time. Please welcome to the show my new friend, player 333. Welcome. Mira.
Hi. Oh my goodness.
How are you?
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
Absolutely. Listen, it's been a whirlwind since the show has come out, and I've been interviewing so many players. And you are the first player that I've interviewed to be one of the ones that like kind of went out on red light, green light, but you got the opportunity. But that's still an accomplishment because you got the opportunity to play a world phenomena game. You know what I mean?
My legs, I was like a foot away from the finish line. I don't know if my knee bent. I don't know what happened because I swear I didn't move. And it went pop. I was like, oh!
How did it go?
Pop. She wasn't ready.
But she was not ready. So listen, hold up. So let's take it back to the beginning because we're gonna get there. But before we get started, tell the people who you are.
Hi everyone, my name is lilsazonpackettt, or that's the nickname that I go by, aka known as Rita. And so I participated in Squid Games, and I'm really excited to be here. That's that's just who I am.
That's who I am. Okay, perfect. Okay, so were you a fan of the original Squid Games?
I was, because it's funny, when I saw that they were doing a live action version, at first I was gonna be like, yo, who's gonna do that? And then it was like, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that. So I found out about it because I was actually in the running for another show, and I made it to the finals, and then they didn't select me. And I was like, I really wanted that show. But the casting director, she loved me so much. She was like, listen, we're actually casting for Squid Games. I think you should apply there. Yeah. And I was like, all right, let's see what happens. And when I got picked, you know the process. It was like 4 or 5 months until you actually get the know, oh, you're part of the game. Yeah. And man, I think all of us watched Squid Games over and over again to see if we could prepare.
Did you do anything to prepare? Like, did you like make cookies at home? Did you like, start doing wall squats?
You know what's funny? I did. I was in the wall squats. I was there like, hold up, just in case. You just never know. I was boxing at the time, so I was like trying to get my arm strength up just in case we had to tug of war. Like I was doing a lot of like strategic games and puzzles. Look at that. To be honest,
you were ready. You were ready.
I thought I was. I did what I could.
Well, for y'all that don't know, there was a bit of the casting process was really long. So I remember I applied initially, like that second round, like in September. Do you remember when you applied?
I think I applied in like maybe August, September, I think. Yeah.
Okay. And then I didn't hear back until like October, November.
Oh, you heard back sooner than me. I didn't hear back until December, boo.
And then you were out on the plane in January.
And then I was out on the plane in January. When I found out in December, I was like, at first, because it's like a waiting game. It's like the weeks. Yeah. You're not selected yet. Don't be hyped. Yeah. It's just the next step.
However, go do a medical exam and a psych exam.
Go get your physical. Go get your blood work. But you're not picked yet. And I'm like, oh my God, anxiety. You know. So when I finally got selected, I told my job, I said, listen, I don't know what to tell y'all. I don't know if this is a 2 week
Mhm.
or y'all gonna have to like try and but my job was so like I thank God for them because they were really
Yeah.
supportive. They were like, no, go do it. We'll hold you down until then. So
Yeah,
yeah.
we love that. Okay, so we moving.
Then I was
So
back quick.
we not going. It's listen.
I'm sorry.
Hold on. She said, sorry. Hold up. So you get on the plane, we hop on the plane, you
Mhm.
fly to London. And
Yeah.
so they quarantined us I was quarantined for maybe about a week. How was
Yeah.
that process for you? Because that's when we're in elevators. I mean, there's guards in elevators, guards on each floor. We
Yeah.
can't talk to anybody.
Yeah.
The only time we see people is when we go get our nasty food. And
That food is
I just remember the eggs were like runny. It was like soupy
oh,
eggs.
I just remember no seasoning, and I just felt like y'all could have at least at least a little pepper.
At least a little salt bay out here.
Just a little sprinkle dinkle. You know what I'm saying? The hotel for me, I'm not gonna lie to you, the hotel was kind of rough. And
Okay.
it's crazy because I'm a 90s baby. We grew up without having like your phone on you 24/7 and whatever
Yeah.
and interacting.
Yeah.
But to not be able to talk to anyone at all, to have the guards making sure that nobody was sneaking off to talk to
Yeah.
anybody else, and you're just
Mhm.
being watched
Yep.
and stuff. And then being online with people for the food,
Mhm.
and you still can't interact because people are
Yeah.
just don't talk. It's
Yeah.
like, damn, man, this is rough out here.
It was
To
wild too because like you're kind of like sizing everyone up. Like this is gonna be your
yeah.
competition, and you're seeing bodybuilders and
Oh,
like pro
that's my life.
athletes.
Yo, I saw some of the strongest men I've ever seen in my life, and I said, "Oh," I
And
said,
now we see the show, and you have like Trey and Leanne that made it through.
"Yeah, yeah." It's funny when you say that because yeah, while you're on the line, you're looking at everyone and be like, "Ooh, like
Mhm.
we're friends, but we're not friends because this is 4.56 mil."
Yeah.
So
Now,
I know
speaking of, did you have a gameplay strategy in your head? Had you gone further?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I really was like, again, 4.56 million is life changing money, and anybody's going in being like, I have to make this happen.
Sure.
But right before I got on the plane, my mother was put on a heart monitor. Both my parents have severe heart conditions.
Mhm.
And so that was kind of on my mind the whole time to be like, I have to at least because like you know how reality TV shows work, whereas like it can change their lives.
Yeah,
So my
absolutely.
thought process is while I was thinking about my mom and my dad was
Mhm.
maybe if I'm seen long enough, maybe even if I don't win, it could change my life. Like maybe
Mhm.
something will happen because I know that I already was starting to build up a platform. At the time I had like 100,000 followers
Okay.
on Instagram. So I was just like, if I'm seen a little bit, maybe
Mhm.
someone will offer like a brand deal, something so that I can retire my parents. So I was focused on the 4.56 mil, but I was thinking I just have to get past at least the first game.
Sure. Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
First off, I love that because I say that everybody who was in this game, I think you had to have motivation. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Something bigger than yourself. Sure, some people want a house. Sure, some people want a car. But like
Yeah.
for you to be like, this can change my life, but my family's life. I think it's says a lot about who you are and your character, and I think that's super super dope.
Yeah, it was way deeper than for me being like, "Oh yeah, I want a house and a jet and on the chef." No, it was like my parents are salsa dancers. So for them,
Sure.
they're older in age and if they don't dance, they don't make money. So
Mm,
I've for years had the pressure on my back to be like, what do we do? Because there's no like assistance for them. There's nothing. And so I'm like, I have to do something. So I was almost at the point of very much desperation. And
wow.
it's crazy because when I see the clip of myself on the show, I'm
Mhm.
stone faced. I didn't
Yeah.
care if my body hurt. It was the whole time I'm thinking my mom's on that machine. You have to cross this line.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, I didn't know that coming into the interview. I didn't know you had that kind of like fight,
Yeah.
that in you. And
Yeah.
like,
I didn't
um,
see you hear pop, pop, pop around me and I'm not blinking. I'm just like, as long as it's not me. Sorry guys, like I just gotta get there. It was really just like my mom.
okay. Okay. Thank you for sharing that, by the way. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for doing that. But listen, so we're in the hotel. Quarantine is tough. There comes a moment where we have to hand in our cell phones, hand in our laptops. They hand you your player number 333.
Yeah.
And then we're on a bus the very early the next morning. It's maybe like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, pitch black. We're
Mhm.
on this bus in the middle of London.
It's freezing.
Was it cold or was it cold?
It was freezing. Like my nips was diamond cutters. Like it was it was a mess. Could have been carving my name into some figures. It was a mess.
Hollering. So listen, I love you. So listen, so we're on the bus, can't talk. We get off, we pull up to the biggest airplane hangar I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And mind you, we don't know anything. They don't tell you anything, right? So like, what is your thought process on this bus pulling up to this huge airplane hangar?
When we pulled up, I remember I was anxiety ridden. Like my heart was in my culo. And it's a good place to hide too, because I have a big booty. But like it was just, I was nervous as hell. It was already cold. And I was like, I knew it. Instantly, I think everybody was like, red light, green light is the first game. Obviously, it's like the big game in Squid Games. So the minute we walked in and like, you could see your own breath, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
oh, I don't think they played in these conditions. Yeah. It was freezing, and I know we was all scavenging towards like the
little heaters
heater that you could find, try to get a second to warm your toes and stuff.
Yeah. So we walk in. So y'all, we walk in. There's like these big tents set up, and they separate all the players. They put these like vest things on us, which I didn't know what that was. I thought it was like a mic pack. Come to find out, that's the thing when you get eliminated that explodes, the ink pack. And then we all line up in these 4 huge lines. We walk around the corner, doors open, and that's when we come to find out red light, green light is the first iconic game. What were you feeling like in that moment?
When I saw that doll, man, I'm not gonna hold you. I think I felt like a rage of being like, oh, I'm gonna beat this doll. Like I refused.
Is that what you felt?
I was like, I refuse. Absolutely not.
Okay.
No, because I've done reality TV before. I did MTV Made years ago, so I know how it is.
What episode were you on of MTV Made?
Oh man, I was on an episode. I was their first adult submission where they turned me into an actress, and
I used to love Made.
Let me trifling MTV. That's a whole story in itself.
We gotta talk about that offline because
we can talk about that. But what was it? So I kind of knew how reality TV worked, and I felt like I was like, I'd be damned if I look like I just explode, like I couldn't last a second in this show. No. Absolutely not. So when I saw that doll, I just got the rage of being like, come on, just beat this one game. That's it. Yeah. So yeah.
So what did you think about the magnitude of the set?
Massive. I mean, I will say it was stayed true to the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I saw it, I was like, wow. I was actually really impressed, like that they really put this together. I was like, wow, it really feels like, oh shoot, the show has come to life. Yeah. So
it was insanity. Like and the doll was big, but because it was such a long distance, she looked smaller than what she really is. She was just really far away.
Yeah.
So you got all these people here. They stretch us out for a quick second, and then we line up. So I was in the very back of the back, like on the right side. So after the first song was done, I still wasn't over the line.
Yeah.
Where were you?
I was in like the third line. So I was with the twins and Jada. I had met them on the bus. And even though we couldn't talk, we vibed out a little bit.
Shout out to the twins and Jada.
Shout out to the twins and Jada. I love them so much. And so I was with them, and the first thing we said to each other was like, girls, we all have to at least cross that line. Yeah. So I'm in the third line, and like you said, well, the first time the song goes, I didn't get to cross over the line yet. So I was like waiting. I was like, I can't wait. And my thing is that they told us, no pushing, no shoving, no jumping.
You can't step over people, right?
But let me tell you. I was ready to go out swinging. I was ready to go out. I was, because I think people had different strategies to try to get past.
Sure.
My thing was, I was like, when I saw the first people go out and I saw how the song stopped abruptly, I was like, oh, you can't be caught in a position that, you can't hold. So I got into a boxing stance each time I landed. It was just switching one bend knee and the other knee straight. So I'm just kind of like sideways each time.
And your hands were up like that?
Oh, no. They started up there from the first time I did it. And afterwards, I was like, oh, we got smart. I put it right in the pockets, right to the sides, little penguin walk.
And so you kept your legs bent.
Yeah, I did like what I would do is I would land with one knee bent and one knee straight so that I could whenever I had to switch, I would be able to hold my weight on the other leg so I wouldn't be exhausted.
Oh, okay. So you had a so let's talk about that for a second because the first round happened. She does her do 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 do
Yeah,
her sort thing,
yeah.
and we stop. Now they told us we might have to hold a position for maybe 10 minutes. How long did we have to hold positions?
We
It's
was in these things for like 30, 40 minutes. I
like
truly believe, honestly, that the first time the song went off, it was 10 minutes.
yeah.
And then I feel like production was like, oh shit. Like
Like,
these people, yeah, this is not enough. These people are gonna play with their hearts in. So I
yeah.
think that's why the time started getting extended.
Yeah. Because it
That's
wasn't always the same. I thought they were like, for fairness, we have to check everybody's
yeah,
movement. But sometimes it was 20 minutes. One time it was like a 40-minute stance.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
it, mind you guys, as you're watching this interview, just stand up and don't move the whole time.
yeah,
Like try to do that for 2-3 minutes. But we did it for 40 minutes,
yeah.
freezing cold temperatures.
Freezing cold. They said it was 23 degrees.
Yeah, freezing temperature. And we're in this airplane hangar, which is essentially just outside. So it's
Yeah.
just like even colder in there. And then so we're playing. So after that very first hole, you had to switch up your strategy. You said, I'm gonna do the boxing stance. What happened then? Like you're going through it, you're getting closer because I initially counted myself out.
Yeah.
How were you? It sounds like you were super determined.
I was super determined. And at one point, what ended up happening for me was that
Mhm.
people on the side of me cut in front of me and they
Mm.
started lying down on the floor. And
Oh,
because they were lying down, it was a row of them. There was like 4 or 5 in a row that would just
mhm.
all equally lie down on the floor to try
Yeah,
and make it across. So I
yeah.
would kept getting stuck behind them. So the twins and Jada were already more than halfway across.
And
And
I
I'm
was right behind them. Yeah.
yeah. So, and I think I had seen you. And so I'm stuck behind these people who keep lying down. So at one point, by the third time they lie down, I'm standing there and I'm looking at the clock and I see them and I'm not able to go past. So I
Mhm.
say it out loud. And I was like, if y'all don't fucking get out of my way
Uh-huh.
on this next time I'm going out swinging. Because in
Mm,
my head, it was like, I'm not here for friends right now. My mom is on a heart monitor, and you're messing up my opportunity by this. I don't even know that y'all could do this.
yeah.
And it's holding me back. So I was like, if you don't move by the next time I'm going out swinging, because this is crazy. And the
Mhm.
girl, like lying down, she's like, okay, okay. And then I was able to move past them
Yeah. Yeah.
because it was,
It
I
was
feel like it was holding
interesting.
me back.
Yeah. I mean, I love this little fire that you have inside of you. But it's interesting because, on my side, I was kind of near Jada and the twins, but it was
Yeah.
interesting because we would as you got further and further, people were kind of like helping. Like we couldn't talk, we didn't want to move, but it would be like, hey, I'm gonna go to the right, you go to the left. Hey,
Yeah.
like on my side was supportive, but then there's other people who are just like every man for themselves.
Listen, I was all for like again, it would have been one thing had it been like I just felt like at that point it was rude when they're lying down there because it's inconsiderate to the people in the back. It's one
You
thing
can't
if you
get
just like,
nowhere. Yeah.
yeah, like if we can't push or shove and I'm not trying to do all that and you're a row of people are doing it and it's like, bro, come on, there's people out here who are trying we can't go around you,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
But I wasn't against the helping because again, like all of us, whatever story we have, we don't know each other at that point. Everybody has a reason that they want to cross over that line,
Right.
you
Right.
know? So
So how far did you go
I
before
wanna say I was maybe, like, 2 feet away from the finish line. I was very close. Yeah.
so what happened?
I wish I could tell you. I wish I could tell you. I swear I didn't move, um,
Oh,
but I don't know. I know that at some point, when there was parts where we had, like, a break to if the breaks were really long in between and somebody had to get taken out,
sure.
um, they allowed us to move a little bit.
Mhm.
I don't know if when the song started back up, I was still, like, on not
Mhm.
done winding, and then it started, and they counted as a movement, and because of when
Yeah.
I landed straight, like, and I was like when it popped, it shocked me. I knew
Yeah.
my back leg was starting to be like this because it had already been, like, so many hours, but
At
when it
that point, it had to be at least like 6, 7 hours almost.
oh, yeah, I was playing the game for you guys had already been crossed over. I was playing the game for, like, 8 hours.
So were you in the group that remember there was the group where like 30 people went out?
Yep.
You were in that group?
Yeah, I think I was in that group. Yeah.
Oh, and but you were right before the
I
line.
was right, but I was not far from the line at all. I was in tears at that point because I was just like, I could do this. Like I'm right there. So
Yeah.
when my ink pack popped, I hit the floor in tears. I hit the floor feeling like I failed. Like I did not. I couldn't even get past the first game. I don't think I'm gonna be seen. I'm not gonna be able to save my mom. So like, I hit the floor in tears, and I was shocked because I don't remember moving.
Yeah.
Then again,
Yeah.
when you play a game that long, you don't really at that point you don't know if your body is like fidgeting or anything.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
spasms, yeah.
Mhm. And so I hate the edit because the edit makes it look like we played red light, green light for 10
So,
minutes.
like, yeah, and honestly, I think the biggest person who should have a gripe against how the edit was done was the girl in the squad, because it looked like she couldn't hold it for 10 seconds, and that girl, shout out to you. You were in that spot for like 20 minutes.
Girl. Yeah.
Okay, we recognize you. Okay, we
Yeah.
know. We know
Yeah.
what happened.
Yeah.
So,
She had to hold that position for probably 30 minutes. And so when she's like, I can't, she
yeah,
probably was already in that pose for 20 minutes.
yeah,
So it goes off, it's inked, and you have to, they tell us to like lay down, you know what I mean? Like when it goes off. So you're laying there, you get up, you go out. How was it going back home?
I wasn't okay.
Okay.
Honestly, I wanna say it led to the biggest breakdown of my life, honestly, but it led to a breakthrough, yeah. It got really dark for me really quickly, because
Mhm.
when I hit the floor, I was, like I said, tears, just
Yeah.
tears, flowing because I was like, "Man, like, I failed." I had put this huge pressure on me to be like, "This is the thing that's going to help change my mom's life." Like, I don't have time left. Like, everybody has, like, their parents have 401(k)s or retirement plans. I don't have that.
Yeah.
So, it was a really big pressure. So, on the flight back, I was just literally in a dark space, and the worst part is that ink takes forever to get off.
She said
So,
on
I'm there with, like, with the residue of
yeah.
my failure on my body that I can't get off.
Yeah.
And so when I got back home, my father didn't mean it in a negative way, but I just wasn't in the space to receive it,
Sure.
because as soon as I got back home and I saw him, he was like, "I guess our lives aren't changed, huh?" And I went into a really dark depression for like 2, 3 weeks. I got hospitalized because I was just like, "I'm not okay." Yeah, it led to a huge breakdown for me. But afterwards, it led to a huge breakthrough because while I was in the hospital, I was like, "I cannot be this obsessed with trying to help them. I can only do my best and know that I'm doing my best."
Yeah.
And so it actually led to, like, the best thing of my life because that breakdown led to my breakthrough.
Why am I getting like teary eyed? Like, because I talked to said I love hearing you say that because I think a lot of us went into this game thinking it was just a game. It was $4 million. But I've talked to so many people, including myself. Like I really found like I found myself to an extent
Mhm.
in this game. And
Yeah.
I'm thankful for that because I don't think it would have ever happened
Mhm.
had I not took a minute to film that 1 minute video and send it in.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So you
Absolutely.
have a breakdown to your breakthrough. How is
Mhm.
life for you now? Post Squid Games.
It's funny how much my life has changed since then because, like I said, I went into Squid Games with 100,000 followers on IG, and I've done social media for maybe like 7, 8 years now. It took 8 years to look like an overnight success. Um,
Yeah.
so now I'm at 400,000 there. I'm 600K on TikTok. Thank you. And my life is like, my videos started picking up. I started really going heavy into just trying to promote the message that I want to see online, which is like the body positivity mixed with like my little comedic rants.
Yeah.
And so it's done a real great deal for me. And I honestly think I wouldn't have been able to enjoy what I'm doing if I still had that huge pressure on my back of being like, you can't do what you love if you feel like I have a deadline that I
Mm.
have to get this done by, you know? So, Squid Games gave me that. I will say that Squid Games gave me that.
Wow. Look at that. You
Yeah.
turn lemons into lemonade for sure. For sure. And
Hey,
honestly, you got to be a part. I'm sure you met some cool people. Like I would have never met you had it not been for the
yeah.
show. You know, you've met cool people, but also you're a part of the number one show
Yes. Yes,
on
and you know what?
Netflix right
You
now.
know what, Squid Games? Let me say it to the Squid Games Netflix. Thank y'all so much for not showing me pop. You know what? Y'all, the little second that my double neck was in there, I appreciate it because it's so funny how many people that know me sent me that and were like, I swear this girl looks just like you. And I'm like, at first I was gonna be like, yo, I get that all the time. I don't know who she is, but she looks just like me. But like that second that I see me, I see my face, and I see my face determined, and it makes me reminded, like, yo, I was in it for my mom. And so no, I'm glad, for at least for me. I'm like, thank God y'all show me.
Yeah. And I'm proud of you too for the representation that you put on television. You know what I mean? Even if it's for a brief moment, it's the representation that you have, your message, your power, all of that stuff. So I thank you for showing up and for doing the thing and for taking the lessons. And from player to player, you did the thing.
Squid Game family.
You did the thing. Let everybody know where they can find you.
Y'all can find me on IG, lilsazonpackettt, lilsazonpackettt. You can see it there.
Yeah.
Follow me, and you'll see more like body positivity and great comedic content, or at least I try.
You're hilarious. I've been cracking up before this, after this. Yeah, you're stuck with me. Sorry.
Yay! Oh, you stuck with me. You're not even ready.
Will you come back?
Of course.
Okay, cool. Right. You know, the next time you're on a comedy tour doing something, you coming back to Just in Time for Story.
The Squid Game fan, that's how it started.
Done. So with that, guys, it's been another episode of Just in Time for Story Time. Please go check out her pages. They'll be in the description box below. Please check out some of the other videos from some of the other contestants who might have made it a little bit further and what their experience was like, as well as check out the Kids Speak section where they talk about what they want to see in books, diversity, and inclusion. But until next time, I'm Justin Stephen Ford. Tell them who you are. Just in Time for Story Time.